This is Afrofeminism. So the context of this came from an angle of, just having a conversation about feminism. So I was made to understand feminism was more of a Western protest of women having equality, right? And then eventually became this wildfire where women all over, women all around the world, kind of understood that movement and wanted to get some benefit of that movement in a certain way, right? So now that I've understood that feminism is an umbrella for some sort of equality within society for women, what do you guys think Afro-feminism means? Or if there's anything like it, or if you even think something like that exists?
For me, I believe that Afrofeminism is so basically, from what I remember from our mothers and grandmas, they were able to get jobs, they were able to kind of do the roles they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, to me at least, African people or African women really wanting to be feminists, it doesn't really make sense.
Okay.
Just because they were always earning what they wanted to, they were never, stabled as Western women to have to be married to get a property. So I don't really see how African women benefit from feminism.
Can I just say that is so not true? Because look at when in the 1940s.
Was not true, sorry.
The African women don't benefit from feminism, because we do.
Okay.
Back in, I don't know the exact time, but it was 1950s, 40s, 60s. But African women used to have to work in bunkers and basements, and they didn't even have their own toilets at one point.
What fact was this?
This is in America. Country? This is in America.
No, I'm talking about African women, the African continent, say Nigeria, Cameroon.
It doesn't matter, because remember, the Africans in America were brought from Africa to America.
But their feminism will kind of.
But it's still affecting an African person. It doesn't matter. It's an African person that is affecting. So So yeah, they used to have to walk all the way to sometimes to another building, to get a toilet to use, because they weren't allowed to use the white person's bathroom. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. They weren't allowed to work certain jobs, receive education. There were certain things an African woman back in those days couldn't do that an African woman can do now. So is that not feminism?
So I hear that point. However, that's in the context of the Western American setting. Within Africa, in that same time period, African women were not subject to those. African women were not banned from using different.
But could they go to university though?
In Nigeria, absolutely. In fact, the women that started our independence protest.
Was that nationwide though? Because not everywhere.
Okay, actually, you're right. You're right.
In the African continent, I see what you mean.
No. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually, to even be very specific, where I come from in Nigeria, I come from northern Nigeria. Girl child education is very poor compared to male child. So I get that point. However, the way the culture is set up, that's not really seen as a disadvantage, because women still have their own. They have their own power within the family structure, that they control a lot of. They have a lot of power.
I think women that wanted to adapt to Afrofeminism wanted to show that they're not just housewives,
Yes.
They have professions as well. There were many professions that maybe African women, even within Africa, weren't able to do.
Yeah.
Some things that were considered as men jobs, basically.
Probably becoming politicians, maybe even becoming rich.